Hey there! We're back again with the sixth in the series of guitar classes. And last time we worked on Saw Her Standing There, doing what I call the regular strum, 2 and 3 and 4. And then I introduced to you two new chords, a C and E minor. So we worked with G and C and G and E minor. And we're going to do a little bit more of that today in preparation for our song today, which is Teach Your Children, which is a song by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. It's an old song, I admit, but hopefully some of you might recognize it. So in preparation for that, we're going to work with practicing going back and forth between G and C again a little bit. So before you strum it, let's just take the G and move to the C. And remember, C is, crap. So just go back and forth a few times. If you don't hit it all at once, that's okay. A lot of people tend to put one finger at a time down for a C because it's kind of hard to find it. A little trick that you might use when you're learning new chords, especially something like C, is this is an exercise, not a trick so much, but what you can do is you make the chord and then you lift your fingers off maybe about quarter of an inch, but keep the shape in the fingers. So don't move them from each other, just keep them exactly as they are and lift them off and then press down again. So the idea being, so mostly when people lift their fingers off, they all kind of go out in different directions. What you want to do is teach your fingers to remember that shape. So you go off and on a few times. Now, when I'm going from any chord to a C, my hand is already starting to make that shape in the air. See how my fingers just kind of know where they're going? And that's what we want to get to. So this is sort of a reverse way of working towards doing that. Any chord that you're learning, you want to try to hit all the strings at once. Of course, that's impossible to do in the beginning. But that exercise with any of the chords that you've been learning might help you to achieve that a little sooner. So try it out. Okay, so we're going from G to C. We're going to do our regular strum, which is the 2 and 3 and 4. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to work with G and C and then G and D in preparation for learning the first little bit of that song. So we're going to start with G and C. We're going to do G 4 times and then C 4 times and then back again. So we'll go through the rotation 2 times. Okay, starting with G. So get your G ready. And here we go. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. This is 2, 2 and 3 and 4. 3, 2 and 3 and 4. 4, 2, 3, and then C. Three, that's G and C. Now we're going to do the same thing with G and D. So 4 times for G, 4 times for D. All right, here we go. 2 and 3 and 4 and G. 4. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is that sequence of chords, G to C, and then G to D. So you'll notice I'll have the chords down there at the bottom of the screen when you're playing them, just in case you're confused as to which one to go to. But we're going to start again. We're just going to go through the sequence once. G, C, G, D. We're going to do each one 4 times. Okay, here we go. So starting with G, get your G ready. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 4. Okay, now if you've got the song in front of you, which is very helpful, you'll notice that, I'll point it out here, we have 2 G's. So this little star thing I should explain. I got lazy, and so instead of writing out all the bars, if it's just one measure and then one measure, I'll put a little star instead. So that means G twice. G and then the star. And then we go to C and then another star. So that means 2 G's, 2 C's. In the next line, we have 2 G's again and 2 D's. So the same sequence of chords, but just half of what we did of each. So only 2 measures of each. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to do the same tempo, same timing, and we're going to just do 2 of each. So 2 G's, 2 C's, 2 G's, 2 D's. Here we go. 2 and 3 and 4 and G. C, another C, then we go back to G, another G, and then we're going how'd you do? Because that basically is half a verse. And then it repeats. It does the same thing again. So 2 G's, 2 C's, 2 G's, 2 D's. 2 G's, 2 C's, 2 G's, 2 D's. That is the first verse. That's what we're going to do next, as if we're playing a full verse. All right? I'm not going to sing it, just going to play it. So we're back to G. Let's try that again. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2. Then to C. 1. 2. Then we're back to G. 1. 2. And then to D. 1. 2. Then we start again. G. 1. 2. Then to C. 1. 2. And we're back to G. 1. 2. And then D. 2, 3 and 4 and okay. So you did the first verse of Teach Your Children. Very good. If you need to, again, go back and repeat that a few times till you feel a little bit more comfortable with the chord changes, the chord transitions. There's another verse, but we're going to go ahead and look at the chorus. The chorus starts out the same. It has 2 G's and 2 C's, although they're split up there. Then it goes back to G for 2, and then it goes to E minor. This is the little section here we're going to work on. So E minor twice, and then just one strum of C, one strum pattern, I should say. And then we come to D, and you notice those little dots like we did and saw her standing there. That D is just one strum. So that's the part we're going to work on because that's probably the trickiest part in the song. So let's start off by just looking at that third line. So we've got the 2 G's, or actually the line just before. We'll do 2 G's and 2 E minors. So we did start working on that transition last time, but let's do it again. So we'll go around twice. We're going to do 2 G's, 2 E minors, 2 G's, 2 E minors, just to practice that part. Okay? And that's pretty easy. Remember, your first finger is already in the right place. You just have to move your second finger underneath that. So let's try that out. 2 and 3 and 4, and then we've got G, another G, then E minor, 1, 3, and back to G, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then E minor, again, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's the G to the E minor. Then from the E minor, we go to C. So that's a little bit tricky compared to G and E minor. What you'll want to do first is, actually, this second finger here is in the same position for both chords, if that helps you. Like I said, some of these tricks work for some people and but not for everybody. You might need to take all your fingers off and find C from there. If you need to do it that way, do it that way. But that second finger is in the same spot, just like the first finger was in the same spot between G and E minor. The second finger is in the same spot between E minor and C. We're going to start off with the E minor, and we're going to do 4 of each. So 4 E minors, 4 C's, and we'll go around that loop twice. Okay, so E minor first. Here we go. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 4. And now to C. Just keep strumming, even if you're fumbling around trying to find C. This is 2, 3, and 4. Now we go back to E minor. E minor. 2, 3, 4. And then to C, keep strumming. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we've got to half that because there's actually 2 E minors, but there's only 1 C. But for now, we're just going to do 2 E minors and 2 C's just to practice going a little faster between those 2 chords. I know. C. Here we go. So find your E minor. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2. And then C. 2. Okay, we're going to stop. So instead of doing a loop, we'll just do it one time at a time. So back to E minor, we'll try it again. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2. And then C. 1, 2. Okay, let's do that one last time before we add the D in. That throws everything off. So let's go back to E minor. Try one last time. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2. And then C. 1, 2. Okay. Again, stop this if you need to and go over it a few times. Getting to that C is a little tricky. But this time we're going to actually add that D in. So you'll notice here in this section, we do 2 E minors, only 1 C, 1 strum pattern of C, and then we do that 1 strum of D. So we're going to do it very slowly. Sorry. Starting with the E minor again, 2 E minors, then we go to C, and then we try to get to D for 1 strum. So that's going to be the hardest part, finding that D fast enough. But try it anyway. Keep working at it. Here we go. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And 2. And then C just once. 1, 2, and 3 and 4. And then 1 strum of D. Did you get there? Maybe not. We'll try one more time, just for the sake of this recording. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2. Then 1 strum of C. 1, 2, and 3, and then 1 D. So I want to explain that that D, we hold it for 4 beats before we go back to the G, which is on the next line. So when we get there, we strum 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to continue on to G. So if you want to work ahead on this song, that's the way to treat that little section. But for now, we're going to leave it and let you work on those chords and those transitions. And then in the next video, I'm going to play the song slowly. So if you work on it a little bit, then we'll get to the next video and you'll be able to play it. All right, so let me know how you're doing. Send me a little note or whatever you'd like to do, and because I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how you're getting along, and if you have any questions or anything like that about what we're doing, please ask me. That's what I'm here for. Until then, we'll see you next time.